What's up, guys? Welcome back to ManCave Collectible Reviews. Coming at you today with another figure review, and this one's big. This one I've promised you for a week now. We teased this guy in one of our last hunt videos. As also I teased, I've got a special guest.
What's up, you guys? It's Jack Dan.
My buddy Dan is in the house. Actually, I'm in his house. I'm in his man cave. As you can see behind us here, we've got the Marvel Legends Gurus collection. So check this out. Enjoy the backdrop for this. I don't have a man cave right now. I actually do have a man cave right now. It's almost ready. So you guys will be starting to see some images, some video of that as we continue to progress in that. So
you telling me we're finally going to get a room tour?
We may finally get a room tour.
Oh my gosh.
We may finally get a room tour. You guys have been asking for it forever. This guy has been begging me to do one forever. So once we get it set up, I'm going to need your help in the setup process. But once we get it all set back up, we will do a room tour, that's promised. Let's focus on what we're actually here for today, and that is this guy. That is the Haslab Sentinel. We're very excited to have this guy. Dan's was promised to be here today, and the FedEx guy dropped the ball.
Big time. Big time. I got a text message at 12:39 today telling me that the package was here. No doorbell ring. I sit at home all day long with my job now. Nothing. No knock. No nothing. Just a text message saying, sorry we missed you. We'll get you tomorrow. So FedEx needs to really work on their signature verification system.
That's like Christmas morning. You get up, you think you know what Santa brought, and he didn't bring you what you wanted. It's kind of that same kind of feel.
It's bad.
Let's get right into this thing, man. I'm excited. Let's look at the box. So what was your first thoughts when you saw the artwork on this?
Well, whenever Ryan and Dan were showing this off, especially Ryan, because he kind of held it up and showed how big this thing was. I mean, it's amazing looking. I didn't realize when we were getting the Sentinel that it was based off the House of X Powers of 10. Mm-hmm. And now that you started reading the storyline, you know, pretty good story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very different.
Yeah.
But really cool that they're kind of basing off that and giving the artwork on here from that storyline.
Don't you agree, though, that the design of it does still kind of... It's close enough to be an OG that it goes well with, like, your 90s X-Men, if you need it to. You know, wherever you want to put it in the collection.
It's a giant robot. That's all it needs to be. It's perfect.
That's it, with tentacles. So you can see the front of this box, guys. We have the Sentinel in action on the front of the box, which is really phenomenal. As we come around, it's basically just a wraparound art design for this thing. As we continue on around, you guys can kind of see that.
Big old giant Sentinel head right there, going up with the Bastion and Wolverine's up there a little bit, so that's pretty cool.
Does it make you wish you would have army built this guy? Maybe got 2 or 3?
It actually does, especially with the fact that we know how many Galactus now sold, and that this is going to be short, what do you call it, manufactured now pretty much, if you want to consider that.
Yeah, and we don't even want to think about what picking up one on secondary market will be. I haven't even looked to see what the prices of those are going for at this point.
We know with the fact that, you know, I don't know, what will Hasbro do? What will Haslab do? If there's still a demand out there, and they still have the mold, you know, why not continue to produce them?
Could they give us a color scheme potentially that does meet up a little more with our 90s X-Men?
That's a good point.
So that's something we could see in the future. We know it won't be mass retail, but could it be potentially another Haslab? I think that's there. Let's go ahead. Let's crack this guy out. We've talked enough about this box. So let's get this guy out. That's what we're all here for.
Now,
anyways.
What's the top and the bottom look like? Have you checked that out?
I have actually not. Help me with this. We'll flip it up here and show the top of this box, guys.
So we got a big X-Men. Is that?
Yep, just from the House Powers of X.
And then on the bottom,
nothing. A bunch of legal jargon.
Yep.
So, all right, guys, that's our overview of the box. We're going to crack this guy out. We'll be right back.
Guys, check this out. Out of the package, we have the styrofoam here with this nice plastic cover over top, and all you see is just gold. Man, I'm loving this, the way they've put this in here in this package. What do you think?
Yeah, they've done a fantastic job, man. Such a clean look to it. You can see everything basically that comes with this guy in this little styrofoam cutouts over there. This is a really nice presentation, in my opinion, for our Sentinel.
Yeah, so you got all your heads right there. You got your tentacles, which we did get that extra tentacle for the fact that we just busted their amount of cells they wanted to have. You know? Yeah. And I think that was due to my video complaining about the fact that we didn't keep on going with our figures.
I'm sure that played the biggest role in all of it.
And we got our 2 extra figures here, the 2 Sentinels, the Bastion and the female Sentinel Prime.
That's cool. So we're going to take a cool look at those. And guys, we're going to do a lot of size comparisons, so hang around for that. We'll go back even into like the ToyBiz days and bring in some of the old stuff from ToyBiz that a lot of folks haven't been able to really show because it's kind of hard to find some of those old ToyBiz Build-A-Figures.
And the sad thing about it, it's going to dwarf them. I mean, it's going to make them just look so tiny.
It is. It is. All right, let's go ahead and crack this guy out of styrofoam. Here we go, guys. Out of packaging, and what's your first thought?
Massive.
Massive. It really, I've seen a few reviews of this guy already on other people's channels, and you can't really garner this. You can't understand the scale of this guy in your head because you're still thinking about this guy,
which was massive.
Right. You're thinking this was huge. We've always thought this was a massive figure. You know, back here behind us, we've got, you know, some of the Sentinels here from Marvel Universe. This guy, I mean, it's unbelievable.
The thing is, you know, we look at the scale. We knew whenever they showed us Galactus how tiny Reed was next to the boot.
How big is Galactus going to be?
I mean, this is crazy. I prepared a spot, of course, in my room already whenever I set this new setup in here. So hopefully the measurements that I have were correct, and we'll see.
Is he going to fit in that?
He's supposed to.
Okay.
He's supposed to fit there, but I don't know whenever we go with a bigger head.
Yeah.
That we didn't measure if he will. So
that head is much bigger. So guys, one thing we want to show you here, Dan actually kind of brought this up, was go ahead and just show you where the batteries go on this guy. So he has a panel on his back that you're going to pop off. It's not screwed in. It's just pegged in with some pegs here.
It felt like we were going to break it.
It did. It kind of felt like we were going to break it. It was a little bit nerve-wracking. But you just pop it off his back, and as long as you kind of do it slow, you're not going to break anything.
And then right underneath that panel, you had your little screw panel right here underneath it. And it only takes 2 AAA batteries, which is actually surprising.
It is, for something this large. But I guess, you know, really the light-up feature is kind of based in the head.
Right.
So I can see
popping this back on here, so you got your bigger peg up top, and that's the one that's actually grabbing it. There's kind of a little clip right there. So you just pop that right back in after you screw the panel back on. And then we just kind of want to show you real quick a little bit of the light-up feature.
We'll cut off some lights here a little bit later. We'll cut off some lights so we can get a little more. Because I actually want to look at this head too, and I want to show them how
underneath it,
as you turn the head, how you kind of can lose some of the eye light-up feature. All right, guys, so we got our panel back on the back here. What we're going to do now is we're going to talk about accessories. So we're going to kind of run through the accessories based on how they come as part of the Haslab, the multiple tiers that we got. So
before the tiers, though, Sentinel himself actually came with Bastion and his head and 1 tentacle. That was before the tiers even started. We actually were getting all of that with this Sentinel.
Okay. We didn't get that with Galactus.
No.
They skipped out on that.
Nope.
All right, so tier number 1.
So tier number 1 is actually my favorite tier of all. It is the Master Mold head. And the reason I say that this is my favorite tier, look how massive this guy is. It fits perfectly as Master Mold. And you can actually throw him in with your original ToyBiz and Marvel Universe Sentinels and him be leading them in the battle.
And we're going to show you what that will look like from a scale standpoint a little bit later. So tier number 2. Tier number 2 was Battle Damage Sentinel. So with this one, we actually got 2 things. We got a Battle Damage Sentinel head, which looks fantastic, as well as a Battle Damage Sentinel hand. Now this hand is not articulated.
Not at all.
So it is just molded exactly how you see it here. It looks phenomenal. I'm not complaining.
And it doesn't even have to go on the Sentinel. It could just sit on the ground.
It's true. It could almost be in fact, both of these could be a diorama piece for sure. But the Battle Damage Sentinel parts was your tier 2.
And you know what gets me with the way they did our Galactus? The fact that the zombie face is just a faceplate instead of an actual full head. I can't reuse just the zombie head in a different part of my collection.
Good point.
So that kind of stinks. Unless you buy more than one.
That's true. If you army build him.
So tier number 3 was our female Sentinel Prime. So she's pretty cool.
She come with an extra head or not?
She does not.
No extra head.
She does not.
No accessories with her.
No accessories, no nothing.
You get what you see there.
Now she is not pinless. On her legs, and I think all females are pinless on their arms, so she is on her arms.
Okay.
But she's fitting pretty solid figure.
Pretty cool accessory to pick up. So then we got at 10K backers.
Because there was no more tiers at that point, and again, I was one of the YouTubers that complained because in the writing it said every 1,000 backers going to be a new tier.
That's true. They did.
They stopped at 7, 8, 9.
Somewhere around there.
So they stopped at 9,000 backers with their 3 tiers.
True. So, but at least we got a second tentacle.
So
that would have been
just out of the blue, just for loving us and for us backing it so much, they did throw in a second tentacle.
Yeah, which we need. And it is bendy wire, guys. And it's nice, rigid bendy wire. So you're going to be able to wrap up your Marvel Legend figures in it, no problem. He's going to be able to hold those up. So very cool accessory there.
Now, because we kept on backing it, they decided to throw us another tier at 17,000 backers.
This was our 4th tier.
This was our 4th tier.
So did we know that the 4th tier was coming?
No, had no idea.
The 4th tier is the Tri-Sentinel head. So you've got 2 gold plate faces. One, I don't know what we would call these It looks like, you know,
like
jet
blasters.
boosters,
Blasters out of his face,
blasters
maybe.
type, yeah. Then he's got kind of a regular mouth, what we would expect to see with a Sentinel. Then you've got a silver faceplate here with kind of no mouth there. You can just kind of see it's very nicely sculpted. A lot of wires and cables that are kind of running down through that mouth area. So a very, very nice addition here. If you're Army building these guys, they really did you right as far as master mold, tri-sentinel head, regular sentinel head, damaged sentinel head. They really set it up for guys to buy multiples of these.
They
for
really
sure.
did, yeah. There was no way to swap faceplates on these.
True.
So it made sense that they would do what they did with this versus what they did with Galactus.
I agree. So let's jump on into this guy. Let's spin him. We got him here on a turntable. We're going to spin him around so you guys can kind of get a good look at him. I will say mine out of packaging had a little bit from the paper that was on him. The paper had stuck to the plastic and it left like a residue on it. Now, I was able to just take a little bit of rubbing alcohol and a cotton ball, and it removed it very easy. I didn't want to use a lot because I was a little afraid it might remove some of the metallic sheen. He has a really nice metallic sheen on him all the way around. Spin around back here to the back. I want to show these cables and wires that are running
all
around
through the sides and the back. So that's nice, meticulous.
It is extremely well sculpted. Every bit of this guy. Up in the neck area, cables, wires everywhere. They really paid attention to detail as far as the sculpt work on this guy.
You can also see it up in the legs right here.
Yep. Yeah, it does a good job of kind of tying the legs into the hip area so you don't really see the articulation in there. So they did a fantastic job with that.
I love the pack that we took off to put the batteries in. It's really nice looking there because it looks like it's actually like jet boosters too. Like he can take off with those on his back too. That's really nice looking.
Yeah, this guy, he really is. This guy is phenomenal. Let's take a look at some articulation here. You want to articulate him for, and I'll talk about it. So you can just work on that left side over there. So let's start up here in the head, actually. So up in the head, you're kind of on a little, it's kind of like a ball peg, and we'll pop that head off. Let's see if we can pop the head off of this guy. Whew. Okay. All right, guys, so here we've got our ball peg. So also with the light up feature, you can see here, this is where the light up feature comes from. Now, the thing about this ball peg here does not move. It is stationary. It's molded this way. So one thing that we've seen with a lot of the heads and some of the reviews that have already come out, when you go to turn his head, you actually lose the light up eye feature as you turn that head. So it's only lit up right here in the front, not all the way around this ball.
So like you said, when you turn your head like this, and we'll show it off in a minute, this left eye has no light coming out of it, but the right one does.
Yeah, so that's a little bit disappointing. There is a way around that because you can articulate in the neck here. So the neck will move about 45 degrees both ways. So if you were going to have your Sentinel looking in a direction other than straight forward, you're going to want to articulate this neck right here kind of at the base of his shoulders.
Rather than just turning his head.
That's right, or you'll lose the light up feature there. So that is the ball peg there. And articulating the head, we don't have a whole lot here. You're going to be able to look side to side, but you're up and down, there's really none. It's kind of non-existent. Moving into the shoulders over there, we've got a soft plastic bit of armor here. So that's going to move out of the way. Is that about as high as we can get it there? So stress-free, it comes up that far, it holds pretty well. Got a rotation there in the bicep area, so it looks good. 90 degrees in the elbows, so that's solid. And then basically, like, is it kind of your standard Hasbro Marvel Legend articulation in the wrist for the most part?
Yeah, there's no up and down, it's just...
But we can spin it 360.
Yes.
Yeah. So kind of your standard Hasbro wrist articulation. Now in the fingers, this is something that's interesting. We've heard a lot of talk about this guy as far as ratchet joints and the lack thereof. They put ratchet joints in the fingers.
Now, I'm not going to say they're strong ones.
They're not strong, but they're there.
Yeah.
They are there, and it's going to be strong enough that he'd be able to hold a 6-inch Marvel Legend.
That is true.
So you've got fully articulated. We've got 1, 2, and 3 points of articulation in each of the fingers. So that's really nice. You're going to be able to pose this guy around again with the alternate hand. You do not have that articulation, but the hand looks identical to the hands that come on him straight out of factory, so you're not going to really be able to tell any difference as far as that's concerned.
Now, y'all did notice we're actually holding on to this guy because you don't want a $400 figure falling, so we're still
That's true, yeah. I'm kind of bracing this guy down here at his ankles just to be safe as we're articulating him around. What do we got here in the lower or upper abdominal areas, as well as lower abdominal areas?
So, back, nada. Forward.
Yeah, let's spin him here.
You got a little bit of I know he's leaning forward a lot because his knees, and you guys know about that.
We'll talk about that a little more in a minute.
But that's it right there. He does have, I think I did loosen him a little bit. He does have a little bit of a back bend there.
A little bit of a back.
And then you got a lot of upper turning right here. It's very tight though, but he will turn at the top.
So we got some swivel in the upper abdominal area.
Now I will tell you this: he springs back whenever you try to go with that upper abdominal.
Okay. So not a whole lot going on there. What about right here in the waist area? Doesn't look like there's anything in the lower abdominal area that I can tell.
Now I will say that this piece right here for his belt and his underwear, whatever you want to call it, very, very soft. The whole thing just moves around a lot. So it's just kind of sitting on top of his hard plastic that he has here.
No articulation in the lower abdominal area. We do got articulation here. Go ahead and articulate out that thigh there. I'll hold him. And let's see what kind of range of motion we can get. So we can get a nice kick. Yeah, it's a good kick there. 90 degrees in the knees. That's pretty solid for such a bulky guy. I take that. That's pretty good. Do we have any splits here? Let's see if we can get splits going.
Dwight showed this off, and he has a lot of splits. Now, I feel like he's being hindered right here because we got it twisted.
So that's about.
But his belt right there is kind of hindering it, but he definitely goes all the way.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go. We can get straight up Jean-Claude Van Damme here. Bloodsport.
Gosh.
So that's pretty amazing.
Now, how much swivel did we have up here? The swivel is not actually up at the joint. It's actually down below it here. So that's a lot of swivel that you can have going on right there.
That's perfect. All right, next thing is the knees, guys. So I do unfortunately have at least a knee that is a little loose, and you can see that by just holding them up and that knee dropping down on its own. Now this one over here, it's a little bit loose, but not anything like this one over here is. So we're going to have to use, the Fwoosh did a good video over on the Fwoosh's channel discussing kind of a quick fix for this. Now I'm not big on having to fix a $400 figure when you get it.
Well, look at me. Whenever we did our Thundercats, Jackalman and Panthro,
and we had y'all spent too many hours trying to get that to work.
That was ridiculous. I mean, Jackalman was easy, but Panthro, I think you ended up not even doing yours.
I didn't even do mine. It wasn't worth it after talking to you guys about it. But again, on a $400 figure, you shouldn't have to fix anything.
No.
So that's a little bit disappointing. Again, don't get me wrong. I'm super happy with this guy overall. And I know the Hasbro Legend teams, I think they actually tweeted out that they were looking into this.
I hope they did, because like on the last Fan First Wednesday or whatever it was, they'd been jumping all over the place. Didn't mention it at all.
Okay, so I hope they don't run from it. They'll gain a lot of respect, I think, in the toy collecting community if they face it
and communicate about
and come out with some type of fix for it. Whether it's send us joints that we can put in ourselves, maybe they send us a ratchet joint that we can install somehow. I know these will pop off and screws are there, and I don't know if you unscrew both sides, does the knee just pop off easily? I don't know. We'll have to see where that goes. It may go nowhere. Either way, it's something to be thoughtful of when you get your Sentinel, especially when you go to posing them and leaving them on a shelf. You don't want to walk in and your $400 Sentinel is laying on the ground like we see so many times with our Marvel Legends.
Every morning.
Every morning if you have a big Marvel Legend collection.
All right, let's
so
talk about ankles.
We don't have any type of swivel in the knees.
Yeah,
the knees are just forward and back. So what do we got here in the ankles? We got...
There's a little bit of a pivot back and forth.
Little bit of a rocker, and then some forward and back. So, for a guy this size and all the armor that he has, I don't expect a ton there. Most people are probably not going to be doing a whole lot of dynamic posing with this guy.
Right.
He's going to be standing on a shelf looking beautiful.
And how much, whenever you point his foot forward, how much does that little piece fold down with it? That back one doesn't, but I think the front one does. So,
yeah, it does
down,
actually. So,
and
yeah, you can
rotates a little bit there.
Yeah, you can pull that all the way down, actually. It'll rotate, I guess, as far as you can get his foot to go down.
So that's just the front, though. The back will not do that.
But that's nice. That helps cover that gap, so that looks really good. You're right on the back. That one is stationary, so it's not going to be moving. So, yeah, a little bit nervous about this knee. We got to kind of be careful with him. Once something this heavy gets to going backward, you can see there. It's
even if the left one's tight, it's going to pull it all down because this top is heavy.
This guy's very heavy. He is a very heavy figure. So you're going to almost have to lean the weight slightly forward or prop him up against a wall.
Until you fix it.
So, and heck, I may even prop him up against a wall forever because I don't want to deal with it. Let's pop off this head and let's see what Master Mold looks like. All right, guys, so just real fast, here is the Master Mold head. This is probably the way I'm going to be doing it because I'm going to be army building the ToyBiz Sentinels. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in the size comparison portion of this. But yeah, looking phenomenal. We're going to cut down some lights real fast and just take a quick look at what the light up feature looks like with Master Mold. All right, guys, so this guy kind of cycles through some different colors there with the light up feature activated. We probably won't see here through all of them, but also you can kind of see here as we turn, this is where we'll kind of show you. As you turn this head and we spin him around, you can see now that that eyeball has no light up feature, and that is again because that ball peg that the head is attached to only has the light up feature pointing forward. So you would have to turn, if you come in here and you turn that neck, so there we go, you can turn, oh, there we go. Okay. You can turn that neck joint right at the shoulder, and then you can turn his head. So you can see how that looks. I love this light up feature. I don't know that I'll use it a lot because I just don't have a need for it, but
the cool thing about it is you've already gone through green, a purple, and now this red. This red is amazing looking.
Yeah, the red that's very angry.
What I really love though is the fact that this button doesn't look like a button.
True.
And like for example on the old Marvel Universe, all you see is button. Like it looks like a toy.
It does look like a button. That's a good point. That's a great point, actually. They hid the button. It's fantastically done. The design was very well done on that. All right, guys, so here's the Tri-Sentinel light up feature. If you want to kind of see what that looks like, you can spin that head, and obviously you got 3 different heads to look at with the Tri-Sentinel.
How many of you guys are actually going to use this light up feature a lot? Y'all going to come in there and hit the button every time you walk in? I mean, you spent this kind of money on it, so you might as well.
It's true. I could find myself probably just hitting the button randomly.
Wouldn't it be cool though if you had the, is my battery dead? He used to talk. So if you had the feature to actually have him talk and say a few phrases to them.
That would be cool. So this one, guys, we're getting ready to cut the lights back on, but we wanted to show you here that he only has one light up eye here, and that is intentional because the other eye is damaged.
His whole head is all beat up right here through that eye, so that's really cool. So let's get the lights back on.
Okay, guys, so here we go. We got our lights back on so we can see this guy in all of his glory and the damage that he has. The Master Mold is what I want to display him in, but this damaged look may be my favorite look for some reason.
It is. I mean, you want Wolverine, you want your X-Men to beat up your Sentinels.
You do. You could imagine a diorama piece with your X-Men fighting him in this makeup.
Yep. I
think it would be perfect. So you can see here the hand. You are not able to plug a tentacle into the damaged hand because of the way they have that area damaged. But there is a port over here on this side, Dan. You can kind of show them how that plugs in, plugs out.
So you see the hand right there with that hole. And here's this tentacle, and it's a round tentacle, and this is a 6-sided hole called. Is that a
sectagon? I actually don't know. If you know what a six-sided hole would be, drop that in the comments down below.
I'm not going to go to Google right now. So anyway, you got your round, and this isn't supposed to fit because they're different shapes, but it does. It fits right into the hole.
It's got a pretty snug fit to it.
Very snug.
That's good. Because you're going to want it. Whoa. Okay. There we go, guys. That's what we're talking about. I'm actually kind of glad it did that because that just kind of shows you what you're going to be dealing with if you're not careful with this guy.
If you don't tighten these knees. Yeah.
If you don't tighten these knees, you don't have a choice but to tighten the knees, unless you're going to just sit him down. You can sit him on your...
That's so sad.
Yeah. So that part is disappointing, guys. That's the only negative thing I have to say about this are the knees.
Yep. There's not one negative thing at all about what is in front of me right now, except the fact that I don't have mine in front of me.
There you go. And I hope your knees are tighter than mine. Yeah. But it's unfortunate because the more of these reviews we see, the more prevalent we're seeing this as a problem.
I don't understand how this could get out of quality control.
I don't either. Very interesting. But it's the only thing on here. There are no more complaints in my book about this guy.
Nothing.
That was kind of our overview of the figure and the accessories that he comes with. So let's go ahead. We're going to run through and do some really cool size comparisons here with this guy. We're going to break out some old ToyBiz stuff. Just let you guys kind of see just the massive size of this guy. So here we go with our size comparisons. We're both in awe, and it kind of makes us feel like some of our old ToyBiz figures aren't what we always thought they were.
No, it's kind of sad.
It is sad.
It's sad. Maybe they shouldn't have done Sentinel and Galactus. They should have done a Celestial first or something.
Just
but
to prepare us.
To prepare us or something, I mean,
here's Galactus, guys. This has been our Galactus for years. This is the guy that most people looked at as the Galactus to have.
And they sought him.
Sought after. Very much so.
250 maybe?
Yeah.
He was.
He was. I don't know what he'll drop to now. Maybe from a nostalgic standpoint, he'll hang around as a good secondary market pickup, but...
Because not everybody still can get this.
True.
And, you know, these are still great scale for your legends if you don't go this route.
Very true. Very true.
When you go this route, I think it takes your value of your Fin Fang Fooms, your Giant Mans, and just throws it out the window.
It does. And especially this poor guy.
Which he's already, because of the Haslab Galactus, he's already thrown out.
True, true.
He's on eBay already.
Oh, there you go. There you go. We've got the ToyBiz Galactus. We've got Fin Fang Foom.
Fin Fang Foom. This was the biggest Marvel Legend before this.
Yeah.
Not counting Stiltman.
Who could be as big as you want him to be.
Yes.
Especially if you're Kentpool.
Yes,
Kentpool still holds the record probably for the Stiltman. Good job, Kentpool. So here we go, guys. We got this. Let's bring in a few other guys. All right, Dan. So who you got at that end for us?
So I'm not going to pull out the entire House of X Powers of 10 wave, but we do have all the Sentinels to compare to this large Sentinel from that wave. So we got our Nimrod, we got our Tri-Sentinel build figure, and we got our Omega Sentinel female figure.
And then down here we got the ToyBiz Giant Man.
And he can go any size he wants to.
He's a classic. You know, I mean, really, if you think about it, you throw in a 6-inch figure with him at this height, the Sentinel or Master Mold, and really that still works.
Yeah.
This guy can still work.
In that particular case, yes.
He can. So there you go, a few more. Let's grab a few more guys. All right, Dan, so talk about what you got at your end.
So on my side, I actually have the two Sentinels. I technically own three, but I have the two Sentinels that I have in my collection with the Marvel Universe. I do have another Marvel Universe Sentinel that is packed as a Marvel Legend with the Amazon exclusive Days of Future Past. I've never taken it out of the box because I already had other Sentinels on my shelf. It's just a cool looking box, so I kind of left it there, and it just kind of rises in value, I guess, over time.
True.
So, of course, Marvel Universe was taller than our ToyBiz Sentinel. Make sure he is. Yes, so he's just barely taller than our ToyBiz Sentinel.
And definitely more bulky.
Yes. Yes, 100%. So he does come up to the waistband. They both do, really, of the Giant Sentinel. And, of course, as we have it with the Master Mold head.
That's the size, the scale is perfect there.
Perfect.
This is perfect.
He's sending his Sentinel army out.
Absolutely. And that's kind of what you see here, guys. Now, what I have here I actually have three of these guys. These are KO ToyBiz Sentinels.
Now, what's KO stand for?
Knockoff. So these are remakes, knockoffs, fakes, whatever you want to call them. Mm-hmm. But the benefit to these are very well priced. So they're less than half the price of going out and buying a ToyBiz Sentinel, which goes for $200 to $250.
And so when you're talking army building,
this is the way to go. So I picked up a couple of these. Actually, the Hooded Toy Hunter hit me up on Instagram, and he sent me one and said, hey, check this thing out. You can show it on your channel if you like, whatever. I want to send it out to you. So he did. And being this guy was coming, I immediately said, I've got to pick up a few more of these. So I did. So here we go. We've got two more of these knockoff Sentinels that look just like the ToyBiz. So I have a real ToyBiz as well. So I now have 4 of these. Mm-hmm. That's going to look fantastic because I kind of want to stage them just how we have it here.
Exactly.
With the 4 ToyBiz Sentinels kind of standing with Master Mold as a centerpiece. I'll put a link in my description to where you can pick these up on eBay.
And did you also do a review on it?
I haven't done a review yet just because of the chaos of the ManCave, but a review is coming on these. I'm going to compare them to the ToyBiz Sentinel originally, so you can check out that review in the future, but a link again will be in there if any of you guys out there are looking to army build the ToyBiz Sentinel. This may be a more economical idea for you to be able to pick some up. So they don't have the articulation that the ToyBiz Sentinel does. I'll tell you that right up front. They don't have tentacles, but that's not really what I want. I'll pose my ToyBiz Sentinel with his tentacles. These guys are just going to be standing kind of as the bodyguards of Master Mold.
Yeah. Now, what I was wanting for one of our tiers with this Sentinel, especially once they showed us the Master Mold head, I wanted a throne. Was that asking a lot?
That's asking a lot, but I will tell you this. They are coming out. There's a lot of folks coming out with 3D printed thrones for this guy.
That will be amazing.
So that's something we'll have to keep an eye on. I've already seen some things kind of rumbling around out there on Instagram with guys looking to make a throne for this guy. So
they're going to make a kill.
Definitely something to think about. And then you ain't got to worry about the knees.
That's true.
Just sit him in the throne. So guys, that is our review of the Haslab Sentinel / Master Mold. My final thought, I'll tell you, give us your final thoughts.
I've got to say, my final thoughts, as long as my knees are good, and I'm sorry about your knees. Like I said, we did tighten the screws. It's still wonky. So again, we are definitely going to be leaning it. He doesn't seem to fall forward a lot, but he's amazing. It's amazing. Now, I will say this. I went to go pick this Marvel Universe up, and his heft, maybe his leg. But he's heavy. He's heavy compared to our ToyBiz.
Yeah, he really felt heavy until this guy.
Until I just tried to pick him up just now.
Yeah, the 30-pound Sentinel.
Yeah. We haven't been in the gym in a while, so
that's true. He might have been lighter back in the day.
Yeah.
So out of 10, what do you give this guy?
It's a 10. He's a 10, 100%, with the mold, with the paint, with the sculpts, with the head sculpts, with all the attachments that we got with it. The fact that they did give us more tiers because we bought more. So
I echo Dan's thoughts. This guy's a 10 out of 10 for me. He is so good that I can look past the knee problem because there is a simple fix. We did the fix just now. We didn't film it. Again, go watch the Fuchsia's video if you want to see it. It's very simple. There's a little peg cover down here. You pop it off of the lower knee, on the outside of the lower knee, and you can tighten up that. It slightly tightened the knee some. It's not a true fix. It really is not. But it did slightly tighten it enough. Still not enough to where I'll still be leaning this guy against the wall.
Yeah, it's too dangerous.
It's too dangerous because if he hits the ground, something's breaking. That's just the bottom line. He's too heavy.
If it's not your floor.
If it's not sitting on your floor. And you don't want this guy on your floor.
I mean, if the floor doesn't break.
True, if the floor don't break. That's true. That's a good point. But you want this guy up high. Yeah. You want him as a centerpiece to your collection. So that is our review. We give it 10 out of 10s, guys. Zach Jack Dan right here, go check out his channel. He is the Marvel Legends guru, but in fact, he's actually quickly becoming a guru in all toy lines. He does the everything toy videos. So if you're looking for kind of a checklist of different toy videos, that's what you do.
That is. And I got behind, and I'm starting to catch back up again. I took about a month off after we stopped doing our live streams to kind of spend some time with my son, Zach Legend, on YouTube. And he went off to college, so he's kind of slowed down on his videos. He has thrown out more news videos instead of the reviews that he used to do. So that's kind of sad that I got some boxes sitting in his room right now. And this is probably going to be one of those boxes that's sitting in there waiting on him because I know he's going to be excited to open it too.
The Trinity is no more.
It is.
Zach has went off and left us. So it's just us two nerds. That's why it's the two of us doing this. Typically, it probably would have been you and Zach doing this review.
Yep.
But
I don't know if he'd let me in.
That's true. That's true. At least I'll let you in.
That's true.
That's true.
So,
we're both nerdy at the same level.
So guys, the really cool thing is, now that ManCave is getting his man cave reorganized and built, our live streams might come back.
That's true. I think we should try to do some. So be on the lookout for that. We'll keep you guys in the loop on it. But definitely check out Zach Jack Dan. Check out the link in the video description for the KO ToyBiz Sentinels. And obviously, if you're not a subscriber to my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button on this video. It helps get it out there for people to be able to see it. And lastly, drop those comments down below. Me and Dan will both be watching the comments for this video, and we'll try to get back to you. And we love to talk toys, so we love talking and discussing stuff with you guys in the comments. Let us know what you think. How many of you guys picked this guy up? What do you think of the knee issues? Is that a killer for you? You know, is there anybody out there trying to purchase this guy on the secondary market?
Is there anybody out there trying to reach out to Hasbro and send it back?
True. I actually got to thinking about that today, and I'm like, is Hasbro going to cover the shipping back? Because the shipping on a box that size it's going to be $100.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's going to cost you, you know, a quarter of what the figure cost you to send it back. So let's talk about it, guys. Drop comments down below. That is it for tonight. We're going to get on with our night and enjoy our weekend. I hope you guys do as well. Until next time.